Still rolling.
My dad grew up with 1 million siblings.
Oh, wow.
And he worked to create a life where he met my mom and they teamed up and became a literal team and built a company together. And it was a company that was able to raise my brother and I in a very comfortable situation, you know? So seeing that and then knowing that we had money growing up, but if we wanted something, we didn't automatically get it. My parents would be like, okay, what are you going to do to work to get that? And so we had the means to get things, but that doesn't mean I automatically got it. So I think having that mindset growing up to know that I have to hustle in order to get what I want was very ingrained in me. But on top of that, it showed me I can get what I want. Like I definitely can. I just have to work for it. So I can have the life that I want, but I got to put the work in. So it was always that situation. And when I had that mindset, people would be like, but an entertainment reporter, like, you know, that's 1 in a million, right? And I'm like, yeah, but why can't I be that one? Somebody has to. So why can't it be me? Yeah, I don't care if I'm a little small town girl who doesn't know anybody on the West Coast. If I work hard enough, I can make it mine.
Hey, everybody. You're listening to Still Rolling Podcast. Today, I have an amazing guest. I recently met her very briefly, and I heard her story briefly on another show. And when I was listening, I was like, here's a perfect example of somebody who can share some insight about just navigating entertainment, navigating life, and all the really cool things that she's learned along the way. Madison Brodsky is our guest today. She has a resume that is pretty incredible. She's worked for companies like ET and TMZ and just endless people who she's had the awesome ability to interview and have conversations with. And she's hanging out with Swaggy P and golfing with like Meta World Peace and all these really cool people in the planet that you know. Welcome, Madison.
Thank you so much for having me. What an intro. Hanging out with people like Swaggy P and golfing with Meta World Peace.
Well, you know, it's crazy because like I grew up watching basketball like religiously and playing it. And so I think about these guys, like they were the era when I was a Lakers fan. I still am, but like just watching people like that and the effect that they have on like little kids, and they want to be just like them and they want to be superstars and things like that. I think sometimes people will get like in their head when they see someone and they're like, oh my God, there's this person. And
yeah, I think star factor is real, right? And being starstruck is the thing that most people in this world will experience. But then there's people on the flip side who are like me who see it for a living. So I'm so like numb to it. And I see beneath the star factor, I see what makes people passionate and unique. And that's why I have the job that I do. But beyond that, I think that star factor exists for a reason, right? Because it's something that is like a magical moment for so many people, and that's special. And I think that it comes with a lot of power, and people need to take that responsibly. And it's a reminder of the responsibility that you hold as somebody who is an athlete with so many people that look up to your talent. With talent comes great responsibility.
With talent comes great responsibility. You sound so grounded, like when you speak.
Well, thank you.
And it just comes from a place of like realness and authenticity. So, I'm curious, like, what's your like origin story? How the hell did you get here?
Yeah. So I was a small town girl, truly. Like I grew up in Tampa, Florida. I spent a lot of the year, every single year, since I was born in Jamaica. Negril, Jamaica is a place that my parents loved to go. So we have a house there and stuff like that. And growing up, I never dreamed of this life that I was eventually going to have. But it was more so of a bonding activity between my mom and I. We would literally get into our PJs. She somehow found like these little toddler heels for me to wear. And we would watch Entertainment Tonight every single night. And as we were doing that, I fell in love with the craft, not realizing that could be a real job. So when people were like, Madison, what do you want to be when you grow up? I'd always be like, whatever gives me time to volunteer on ET. Because I thought there's no way that could be a real job. It's too good to be true. When I found out I could do it for a living, I went to the University of Arizona and I double majored in broadcast TV and film and TV. Broadcast journalism and film and TV, sorry. And graduated in 3 years with 12 internships under my belt. I worked all over the place, like for every news station, every newspaper in the Arizona area, doing every different stage of production. I wanted to be able to say like, oh, there's a job for that. I can do it, because I wanted to be highly competitive when I graduated school. Then I went out to LA for a summer and I interned for Conan O'Brien. And I had all this experience. I was so ready to finally hit Hollywood. And my jobs were like, oh, Conan has dishes in his office. Can you go clean them? Oh, we need to go mop the floors over here. Oh, we need to go run this errand. And I was like, I have been on the news in both my home market in Tampa, which is a top 15 market, and also in Arizona. How am I now just doing like chore work when I first get to Hollywood? There was one night that I remember so specifically. I was leaving work, my internship, at Conan, and the sunset was setting behind Warner Studio, which is where he filmed. And it was so magical that I took a step back and was like, whoa, I'm here. I don't care what I'm doing. I'm here. Let's be more appreciative. Let's accept the blessings that are coming in. And that's what I did. And like maybe a week later, Conan came up to me and was like, hey, I've been seeing you doing like most of the chore work around here. What's your name? And I introduced myself, said I was Madison Brodsky. And he's like, let's chat for a second. And I was like, okay. He asked me what I wanted to do. I told him I want to be an entertainment reporter. He asked more questions. And then suddenly he started giving me advice. The next day, he was running late from a shoot. He couldn't make it in time for the dress rehearsal. And he called his stage manager and was like, there's an intern named Madison, and she wants to do this for a living. Let her do the dress rehearsal. So I got to stand in, pretend I was Conan, read his monologue, do all the things. It wasn't taped or anything, but it was my first little taste of like, this is Hollywood, baby.
Yeah.
You know? And so I took that and ran with it. I got to go to Comic-Con with him. A few months later, I was about to graduate school and I got a call from TMZ, and they were offering me a full-time internship that was paid. So I graduated school, went there, did a paid internship for like 2 months. That grew into a full-time job. Worked there for 4.5 years. And then it led into the next step, which was becoming a red carpet correspondent and producer, a booking producer for Entertainment Tonight, which was so full circle for me because I was like, this is what I always wanted to do. And I'm like, 24, 25, making that full circle dream come true. And so I was never at that point thinking, okay, what next? What next? I was like, I'm living my dream. And I was so happy. And then when that dream came to an end, I was like, I need a backup plan now. What do I do? And so I started thinking about it, and I went into e-commerce reporting. So basically I was interviewing the likes of Oprah, Jamie Foxx, Drew Barrymore, Kevin Hart, and selling their products direct to consumer through a live interview. And that was a lot of fun. And it's really cool to be that kind of host, because when you're that kind of host, you're not trying to get information out of them. So there's a natural comfortability there between you and the celebrity. The celebrity's like, oh, she's here to make me money. So naturally, they're going to be like more hyped than usual. Yeah. I did that for really like another 5 years. And now I'm here doing mostly freelance. But on top of that, I am the host of Live Play Bingo, which is a great app on your phone. There's like 300,000 people playing every hour. I host from 7 a.m. to noon, Monday through Friday. And then catch me working Saturday and Sundays too. I'm always there hosting.
We're filming this on a Saturday, by the way.
Exactly. And then I wrap up my day at like noon, and I usually go to work out for an hour, and then I go home, take care of my dog, refresh myself, and then I go to all the gigs at night where I get hired to do red carpets and things along that nature. So I still do all the freelance work outside of that.
In filmmaking, they call it back to one. So it's like going back to like first place and then just going and walking through the scene again. If you could give like a brief little version of who Madison was as a little girl, like was she like the type of person who just like, where did you learn this essentially? Like that attitude of like, let me figure this out.
Probably from my parents. I think that my dad specifically, my dad grew up with 1 million siblings.
Oh, wow.
And he worked to create a life where he met my mom and they teamed up and became a literal team and built a company together. And it was a company that was able to raise my brother and I in a very comfortable situation, you know? So seeing that and then knowing that we had money growing up, but if we wanted something, we didn't automatically get it. My parents would be like, okay, what are you going to do to work to get that? And so we had the means to get things, but that doesn't mean I automatically got it. So I think having that mindset growing up to know that I have to hustle in order to get what I want was very ingrained in me. But on top of that, it showed me I can get what I want. Like I definitely can. I just have to work for it. So I can have the life that I want, but I got to put the work in. So it was always that situation. And when I had that mindset, people would be like, but an entertainment reporter, like, you know, that's 1 in a million, right? And I'm like, yeah, but why can't I be that one? Somebody has to. So why can't it be me? Yeah, I don't care if I'm a little small town girl who doesn't know anybody on the West Coast. If I work hard enough, I can make it mine.
Yeah. As people came out and would say things like that, like, was there like specific people that you had in your life who were like scene partners or like life partners who you would go to and be like, was like a mom or dad or someone who was like supportive along your route?
Yeah, I have a really good supportive circle around me. But I think that your supportive circle is really just a listening ear at the end of the day, right? They're not paying your bills. They're not doing the work for you. They're there to literally fill your heart back up with the belief that you can still do what you want to do. At the end of the day, it's up to you.
That driving factor though is like really, it's always interesting because like it is up to you. I can imagine for you coming from, you know, small town girl, what kept you on that path when you had like a pivot moment? The red carpet stuff was happening and then that job ended, like a bounce back moment. You're like, okay, this is over. Like, were you instantly thrown into the world of like, all right, what's next? Or do you take time to like process everything and try to understand like where you are in your life and then see what your next move is?
No.
I
think it's probably,
simple.
Yeah, I think it's probably healthy to do that, to like really have a lot of reflection time.
Yeah.
But in my mind, there's no time. You can reflect and you can be busy at the same time.
Yeah.
It's just going to make you more busy.
Yeah.
But I think like, if you want to make it, you got to always be 10 steps ahead. You got to be thinking about where to next, even when you're comfortable in the place that you are, because you never know what's going to happen. There could be a disease like COVID that shuts down the entire world. And you have to pivot to figure out like, okay, there's no red carpet. So what is my job going to be? Like literally, because that's what happened to me.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, it could be a strike where like your job's not there anymore because your industry is on strike. There's so many different things that could happen that's way out of your hands of being an amazing hard worker that could destroy your dream. So you have to be 10 steps ahead of what's my next step if that were to happen. So I think as soon as that did happen to me, where COVID happened and there's no more red carpets, I was just like, okay, well, let's go. Let's find a spot that makes sense. Let's see. After COVID, is TV going to make it like normal broadcast TV on cable? Probably not. So let's find something that's far away from that. What's the future? What's going on in China? E-commerce? That's going to be huge here. Let's see what jobs are available in e-commerce. Where can I host? Where can I put myself in? Where can I create a job where I'm going to be invaluable?
Yeah.
And when you find that kind of mindset where you're your own entrepreneur and you're creating something for yourself, that's where companies find you really valuable. I always tell people this as they're going to an interview and they might be nervous. I'm like, you're nervous because you really want them to like you. But here's the thing. They really want you to like them too, because they might know that you're really valuable and you have options and they want you to pick them. So go into the interview with the mindset of knowing they want you to like them.
Yes.
So the playing field is now even. There's nothing to be nervous about. Go in. You have the knowledge. You have the personality. You have the talent. You have the ability to be the best candidate there. Yeah. Go tell them why.
Yeah. And just meet in the middle. Yeah. It happens with actors too, or just anyone in that world of just being on camera, I'm sure. there's different friends who will just exactly what you just said is like the relatability of like walk in there, show them who you are, and then just walk out. Thank them, for their time, and then just go. You're one of one, right? So I asked that question. I'm wondering if you have any habits that like keep you grounded.
I think it's the belief in myself, honestly, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I think that I am able to be really confident in what I bring to the table, whether as a daughter, as a sister, as a friend, as a TV host. And I think that confidence drives me. There's a lot of times I'm human naturally where I'm going to be like, they're so much better than me, or like, I'm not going to be able to do that or something. Like, you have those moments where doubt seeks into your head. But I think at the end of the day, you have to remind yourself that if you don't end up getting that opportunity just wasn't meant for you. And if you were going to get that opportunity, it could have gone really bad. And maybe that ruins your career. Maybe there's a reason why you didn't get that opportunity. And I know it can be hard, especially for actors, because that's a whole nother world with the grind of going to 1 million auditions a day and like just never hearing anything, because you don't get feedback from those auditions, right? You just are like, oh, I didn't get it. And you don't know why. So I can understand why that's like a struggle and why that doubt can seek in really fast and really hard. But I think it's just believing in yourself that you can make it, and then knowing when to pivot, because pivoting is really important. You might think like, I love movies so much, I need to be an actor, blah, blah, blah. And you're going to audition, and it's not working for you. That might be a time where you need to pivot and think about, well, is acting really the thing I need to do? Or maybe it's writing, maybe it's directing, maybe it's producing, and start getting your foot in the door other ways. And something's going to work. And then use that to then curve back into acting once the moment is right. But find your way in where you're on set all the time. You're meeting the right people. You're networking. Do you know how many friends of mine were PAs and then they ended up getting huge acting gigs just because they were talking to the director at the right time? They met the casting producer on set, things like that. Yes. It's just like, really, at the end of the day, casting producers are people too. They want to hire people that they love. So if they love you because they were chatting with you for 30 minutes on set in between whatever they were doing, they're going to remember you, and they're going to be like, oh my God, this role would be perfect for her. Let me just call her and see if she can come audition. Then you're going to get it because they literally called you to come in. They knew that you were perfect for it. So it's putting yourself in positions where you're able to pivot in order to get your foot in the door, meet the right people, and then you can loop back to the original dream. But know that it doesn't have to be straight from A to Z. It could be A, Y, B, S, M to Z, The mindset that you just described is like a gift. I think it's something that's acquired. It can be learned, but it's most of the people who have like some of the best stories about just life or career or love, usually they have that mindset. It's exactly what you just described. So if you guys are listening, like literally. It's controlled chaos, because I think I'm a control freak in a lot of ways. Okay. I'm very OCD. I want my life to go the exact way that I pictured it, but knowing that it will, there's just like little curves that I wasn't expecting. Yeah. And just being able to ride those waves as you go to the shore.
Where does that unwavering faith like come from? Where does it stem from?
Where does the what stem from?
The unwavering faith. Like you said, like you have this, like, you just know, but then there's like little things that'll happen and you're like, but it's still going to happen.
I think at the end of the day, like, I'm a big manifester and I preach about it all the time. And I think that if you want a certain life, like, who's to tell you can't have it? Like, just believe in yourself, because at the end of the day, you're the only one who's going to make something happen or not happen. So like, you just have to believe in yourself. And like, if you don't have the skills that possess your dream, go do something to get the skills. Go take a class, go back to school, go get a mentor, go get trained, learn, watch YouTube, like whatever it is that makes sense for your lifestyle, your financial situation, like anything like that. Figure out a way to just practice and become better. So then you do possess the skills where no one can tell you anything because you're good.
Sounds like knowledge and confidence.
And sometimes that confidence is fake. Fake that confidence till you make it. It just has to appear that you're confident. You don't always have to. Yeah. I think there's a lot of times that I fought through insecurities and pretended I was confident when I wasn't. Mm-hmm. And naturally by doing that so often, I'm now like I think I'm too confident now where I'm like watching back videos of myself. I'm like, who do I think I am? Like, why do I think I can just go up on that stage that I'm not the host for and start talking? Like, why do I think I can just do these crazy things? But you know what? It adds to the story of life.
That's it. To your story. It's like I said, it's a gift where you're able to unlock that within yourself. I think everybody can do it.
Yeah. Nerves is excitement, right? So like, just channel it.
Just flip it.
Yeah.
Just literally just flip it.
Care.
The stage. Oh my God. That's hilarious. I'm thinking about like the conversation that we had prior to like rolling cameras about being able to connect with people and how important that is.
I call it my superpower.
Your superpower.
Being able to get really deep with someone really fast.
So talk about like your superpower and when you noticed that.
I think it was always easy for me to connect with people and to get really deep with them fast and make them trust me pretty much immediately. I thought that was just human nature until I realized people would be like, wow, I like really got vulnerable with you or something. And like people would just like stop for a second and reflect on it. And I'm like, well, yeah, of course. And they're like, that's not normal. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I just like, don't think I really realized, but I think that probably the biggest trick at doing that is being vulnerable yourself. When you're able to sit there and look someone in the eyes and share your heart with them, when you just meet them, they automatically feel a comfortability where they can overshare as well. And that's where a connection is formed.
When the industry feels chaotic to you, who's like a go-to person that you would now rely on?
Whoever wants to listen.
Whoever wants to listen. You're like at a random place.
Like it could be my mom, it could be my dad, it could be my brother, it could be my psychic, it could be my therapist, it could be any of my friends, like whoever is able to answer the phone at the time, that's who I'm going to talk to about it. I think that it's also having, I don't know, like a greater understanding that everyone's going to deal with problem solving in a different way. It's an understanding of everyone's going through something that they might not show you. And everyone has different life experience. So everyone's going to have different types of advice for you and different opinions and thoughts. And the only thing I say, accept it all, but also like consider it, because you have to see if it applies to the way that you are as a human and the way that you're living your life.
You come off as very like ambitious. Like you're just like, yeah, like let's see what we can do in this life. When you do find yourself in those positions, how do you get yourself back to the Madison that everybody like knows and this ambitious?
I think what sticks with me, and I don't know, it's such a random scene from America's Next Top Model from so long ago. There's a girl that like hit rock bottom. She like could not do it. She was about to be eliminated. Then it was makeover day and they cut all her hair off, and she had like really short hair when she used to have like longer hair than mine. And then she was hysterically crying that whole day. She comes back to the shoot. Tyra was there at the shoot and she killed it. And Tyra's like, see, you just needed to cry it out and you came back and you rose above. Boom. And I think about that all the time for some reason, of like sometimes just a solid cry is going to let you live the emotion that you were feeling and then move on.
Yes.
And just be like, okay, this is the cards that I was dealt. Now let's just go play and like see what happens. So like your emotions are valid. You have those emotions, those fears, those worries for a reason, but use them. Use them to motivate you. Use them to realize I'm in quicksand. I can't breathe. I only have the tip of my nose sticking out. I'm about to sink and die. How do I pull myself out? Get creative.
When you're navigating creativity, you're navigating your life and this journey that you've been on with just amazing positions that you find yourself in as you're navigating everything. Do you ever have those moments where you're just like, yeah, I knew this was going to happen?
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Like I've been manifesting it, and part of manifesting it is seeing it and believing it as if it already is happening to you. So yeah, 100%. But also when I have those moments, like I'm very into spirituality, like big time. So
Let's go.
My grandma who passed recently and my grandpa who passed a long time ago, there's a lot of times where I'm like, which one of you was it? And then I'm like, thank you to whoever it was. Like, I just feel like they're always looking after me and they're not going to make my life perfect, you know, like I still have to go through things. But when I rise above and then I hit that, I'm like, thanks, guys.
Yes. Spirituality.
Yeah.
Literally the reason why I've met so many people who have had near-death experiences. And part of the reason why I started this show was because I had a near-death experience myself where I survived a car accident and I changed the trajectory of my life. I was like, whoa, like this is one-time deal.
That was a life pivot.
Yeah. And it literally afterwards, I was like, Grandpa, like, because like my mom would always talk about that when we were kids. And she would be like, they're always going to watch over you. They're always going to be here. And then when you don't expect it, they're going to show up. But they're always there.
Chills.
Yeah. And so I literally had dinner with two of my best friends last night, and we were talking about this. And Keyshawn, if you're watching this, I love you. Keyshawn, he tells me a story about a family member of his who he was going through something, and I'm getting goosebumps right now because like it's a surreal feeling just knowing that like you can trust life with anything just because you're always being taken care of. There's always people who want to champion you. And then there's always people who are no longer with us, but they still have that same effect that they did when they were here. Right. So like,
I think it's also important to say too, on that note, that like there's a lot of people who could be watching that's like, okay, but look at them right now. Like they're living this very privileged life where you guys actually have no idea what I'm going through right now or what you're going through right now behind the confident facade that we put on. But outside of that, I think that it's important to remember because there's a lot of people who could be sitting in the hospital with cancer right now or something like that. And they're like, yeah, none of this applies to me. I don't deserve this. And then that's valid. But at the end of the day, you're going to make an impact because you're in that situation right now. It could go one or two ways. Either way, it's going to make an impact, very different types of impact, but it's going to make an impact. And I think it's just important to remember the cards that we get dealt are for a reason. And that reason might not come to you for like another 50 years, but it will come and it will all click and make sense.
That's the gift though. I think that's what the gift is.
It's part of making our souls continue to grow from lifetime to lifetime. That like we all have to go through something. And like maybe your life was cut shorter in this lifetime or something like that, but maybe that's because you figured it all out early. Or like you already made your impact that you needed to. You already made the change that you needed to in this lifetime. There's always a reason for everything. It's part of the greater universe plan.
What do you think your impact or your reason for being here now in this current, like where you are in your life? What would you say is like, okay, I feel like this is what I'm here for. This is my calling.
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay.
I don't know what it is yet.
Yeah, that's okay.
I think that there's certain things that I pick up on that I'm like, was I this in another lifetime? Where like, there's just like certain talents of mine that I'm like, I've clearly had practice in this before. Like I naturally have this natural gift at it. I must have been an X, Y, and Z in like the last lifetime or something. But I think that's all part of growth. I think with the direction that I'm going, it's probably going to be able to speak on something and make an impact with my voice. What that is, I don't know if I know yet.
I think it's so cool where you are in your life right now, right? And I think it's adventurous just to like, because I see people who come into entertainment or just go into a career or go into something in life that they really want to do, and they're scared shitless. And they're just like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I'm just trying to figure it out as I go. And I'm like, you got this. Like, you literally already took the first step, right? And sometimes the first step is like, you just thought about doing something.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, well, what do I do now? Am I going to do it? So like for you, do you remember that moment when because I know you mentioned when you were a little girl and you would watch with your mom, E.T., and you're just like, this is something that I could do, right? But like reliving that moment where you were, do you remember about the age you were at when you were like, I'm determined that this is going to be my life?
I think always.
Always?
I think I was really lucky to have that knowledge really early on. I think it hit me though the first time that I hosted at the Grammys, where I was looking around and I was like, whoa, I'm here.
Yeah.
Like I did it. Yeah. And I would do this for free. Don't tell my boss that, but I would do this for free. Like, this is so cool. Yeah. So effing cool. And I think that was like a major moment for me, because it's important to also think about those moments when you accomplish something and you can look up and be like, this is a little win for me. Celebrate those little wins. I don't care if it's at the Oscars or if you got the audition to be able to see if you can get that part to be on the carpet for the Oscars. I don't care. Like, celebrate the fact that you even got the audition. Celebrate those little wins, because that's going to keep motivating you.
That's it. That's it. Gratitude for everything, even the stuff that we do, think is supposed to happen.
Like, think of crazy things too. Like, when I said I get creative, like one of my friends was on a reality show, right? And he's doing all these appearances, and like girls keep grabbing at him, and like when they grab at him, they like rip his underwear underneath his pants. Like, they're literally ripping his boxers. Like, we need to get you a Calvin Klein ad. You can get a Calvin Klein. It would be gorgeous. And B, like, free boxers. It's okay if they rip them. So like, get creative. And like, modeling's not something he would have ever thought of doing, but like, that makes sense. So like, look around and see what makes sense and get creative with it. And then do your research, go down rabbit holes, find the right people to contact, and like literally connect with them. Do your networking.
That's one of the things that I think is probably one of your superpowers as well. Because I feel like you're the type of person that you're like, I'm going to figure out who I need to talk to, where I need to communicate from, whether it's email, through a recommendation or whatnot. But you give that energy off of like literally listening to the other show you were on. And I'm like, this person is like a doer. Like, she's just determined and destined to like just get it done. And I'm like, I think people can read that and they see it in you. And then they're just like, yeah.
Because I'm the one at the end of the day, right?
That's like, I didn't say it, but I literally thought it, and I was like, she knows.
It's the same motto that I've been going by this whole time. It's like, I don't care if it's 1 in a million. I'm the one. Yes. Why can't I be that one?
Yes.
And like I said before too, if I am not the one for that project just wasn't meant for me. It was meant for somebody else. They were the one for that project. So just keep it moving. And you can apply it in the same way to relationships too. Like, you know what you can bring to the table in a relationship. You are that one. You are the perfect person for somebody. So if somebody is ghosting you, if somebody is not respecting you the way that you should, you're not their one and they're not your one. So keep it moving. It's hard because our feelings get involved. When our feelings get involved, everything gets blurry. But if you can, try to take a step back and think of your situation as your friend's situation. What advice would you be giving your friend? And then convince yourself to do it, which is effing hard, by the way, but convince yourself to do it.
You're the second person this week to bring that same exact concept up.
Yeah, it's true though.
Like, we're going to clip that for sure. If you could look back and give the little girl who would watch E.T. with her mom advice on like life, and it could be career, it could be love, it could be anything. Like, what advice would you give that little girl?
I would say you always dreamed of a big life, so you're going to get it. Trust your instincts and your gut. It'll never steer you wrong. Believe in that intuition, and you'll get it. You'll get everything you ever desired. Our intuition is so strong.
100%.
People shut down their intuition because they're scared. Mm-hmm. But if they believed in it, it's going to lead them exactly where they should be.
Like, I'm so excited to see like where you go next. Seriously.
Me too.
Just like, there's people, like, I meet people all the time, and I'm very much so like you, where I'm just like a social butterfly. I'll be like, hey, what's going on? How's your day? Like, tell me something exciting, you know?
You literally reached out to me before I even got home from the other show.
And literally, I was like, this person feels like they are part of that, like, eclectic, like the eclectic group of people who allow themselves to just be who they're supposed to be.
I think that's so important. And that goes back to the advice, right? There's so many people who will give you advice and like I was saying, you have to internalize it and see if it fits for you. Because some people give really bad advice. Some people have learned experience, so their advice is actually something to consider. But some people give really good advice. So it's important to see where that advice is coming from and see if it applies to the way that you want to live your life. I would say that I would argue actually that there's a lot of very successful people who give advice that's just not applicable to your lifestyle. And like, there's just no way that you can take that advice because it's just not relevant to you. You could aspire to make that relevant, but it's just not relevant. So just don't take that advice. You know what I mean? Like, you have to see where the advice meets your life. And I wouldn't necessarily say take the advice. I would say be inspired by the advice, right? Because taking the advice, you're just going to be a copycat of someone who already exists. Being inspired by the advice is going to help you grow.
I'm just going to cut all my audio from this episode and just let you talk the entire time in the episode. It's just, you're dropping gems. Like, literally, it's magic. It's things that, like, I had to learn along my journey. People who came into my life taught me things. And I'm like, I wonder what other people have learned in their lives, right? And so just listening to you for this last hour, I've just been like, what? Who is this person? Like, I'm glad that she's here because there's going to be so many people who benefit in this lifetime from you existing. It's really cool to meet you in this era of your life.
I would say it's perfectly imperfect.
Yeah. No, that's the point.
And that's the way I want to be. Yeah,
that's the point. I end the show with rapid fire questions.
Okay, let's do it.
1 word questions, if you can.
I'm going to try. I'm a talker.
Yeah. First question is, first celebrity you ever interviewed?
I want to say it was Rob Lowe. Could be wrong, but I think it was.
Dream celebrity interview?
I just had it, Justin Bieber.
One story you'll never forget covering?
The Israeli hostages.
Biggest pinch me moment in your career?
Hosting the Grammys backstage for the Recording Academy.
Guilty pleasure show or movie?
Love Island.
Coffee, tea, or something stronger?
Matcha.
If you weren't in media and journalism, what would you be doing?
That's just not a thing.
1 word friends would use to describe you?
Personality.
And what's the first headline you'd want written about your future?
She made it.
Boom. Madison Brodsky. Thank you.
Thank you. This was so fun.
Thank you for shining your light. Like, I hope, people who are listening to this or watching this can take something from just everything you've shared today. Incredible person. I mean, your parents must be super proud. Your family, your friends, everybody. You seem like a light that's just like about to light up even brighter. And I love that for you.
I just want to be a shooting star.
Supernova, let's go. Thank you.
Of course, thank you.
That was Madison Brodsky. You guys, play back this episode. Literally just listen to this wonderful person who is really dropping gems on this episode. And I hope you're listening, and stay tuned for more episodes. Follow us on @StillRollingPod on Instagram, TikTok, all the socials. Follow the YouTube channel. And as always, thank you guys so much for being here. And I hope that your life just turns out exactly how you want it to be, just like Madison Brodsky has that energy, that love, and sending love and light to everybody who's watching this.
Be your own shooting star.
And be your own shooting star. Supernova!
Exactly.